to join us and share, and that you make your online resources available. We have 12 outstanding teacher candidates available. And guess what? They start their student teaching. It gets pretty real on Monday, January the 11th. And so they're looking forward to it. Without further ado, I'm just going to pitch it to you, Dusty, and you can share with them what you have there.
Sure. Where's everybody doing their teaching?
So we're going to try that again. He asked where everybody was doing their student teaching. And so you got to remember, Dusty got to work last year with Jill, and she was placed in Ohio. And so this year, all 12 of our candidates are definitely in Pennsylvania and scattered across the state. But I'd like for you, if you can, I will see how good the volume is. Obviously, I'm standing next to the microphone. Uh-oh. Whoa. Oh, I see what you're doing. That looks exciting, Dusty. It's kind of trippy.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I tried to share my screen.
That's kind of fun.
That looks like.
But I'm going to have you call off where you're sitting, project your voice, use your teacher voice, say your name and where you're student teaching. Go for a town name, okay, in Pennsylvania. So you got what I'm saying, okay? All right. In fact, I'm going to pick on somebody to make it start first. I'm going to pick on Olivia. Olivia, you go first.
Just the name of our cities.
Go ahead and tell them your name and where you're student teaching.
All right. My name is Olivia Murphy-Sweet, and I'm a student teaching at Walter Middle High School in Philadelphia.
Perfect. Well done. Could you hear that, Dusty?
I could. It's fine.
Testing out my microphone's capacity at the same time.
All right.
Hi, I'm Sarah Royer, and I'm student teaching in Athens, which is in Bradford County, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Henry. I am student teaching at Northern Lebanon, which is in Fredericksburg, which isn't that far from Lebanon, the city in Lebanon County.
Okay.
I'm Jenna Timmons, and I will be student teaching at Kennerdale High School in York County.
All right.
I'm Rachel Spiker, and I'll be student teaching at Penns Manor, and that's near Clymer, Pennsylvania, Indiana County.
I'm Janae Herr. I'll be student teaching at Midwest High School, which is in Middleburg, Pennsylvania.
Mason.
I'm Mason Tate. I'll be student teaching at Lancaster Strasburg High School. That's in Lancaster County.
All right.
And I'm Stacia Gouger, and I'm going to be student teaching at Willsboro High School in Tioga County, right near the New York border.
All right.
I'm Matt Holt. I'll be student teaching at West Perry. That's in Perry County, Elliotsburg, down by Harrisburg.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Katie Andrews. I'll be student teaching at Big Spring High School in Cumberland County.
My name is Erin Hughes. I will be student teaching at Mohawk High School, which is in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, or near that area in Orange County.
Okay, very good. Is that everybody?
Everybody, yes, sir.
All right, very good. Well, we appreciate you guys having us and letting us work with you while you're actually doing your student teaching. I'm going to go ahead and try to share my screen again, and we'll see if it works a little better. Can you guys see that? Did it switch?
Yeah.
All right, very good. So how many of you guys are familiar with iCEV and what we do? Just I guess since I can't see
it. So give me a say. If you are confident in iCEV, raise your hand. Okay? So that's 0. If you know that iCEV exists, raise your hand. Okay, that's 12.
All right, perfect. That's where we like to start, right there. So
I've got about 4 or 5 that say they can work it okay. So they're not confident, but they're like in the middle.
Perfect. Well, in about 15 minutes, it's very simple to use. So you'll be able to tackle it full on from now on after we get through with this training session. But just to kind of give you guys a little bit of background about CEV and about our company, we are based in Texas. We've been around now for, I guess, 31 or 32 years. And the way we got started was our founder was actually an ag science teacher in Washington State. And he was a big animal science, dairy science, meats guy. And he did not know a whole lot about plants. And every time he had to teach a horticulture class, he felt like he was really failing the student. But, at that point, he didn't have much to go off of, so he kind of went off what he could. He then went on to A&M and to get his master's and his PhD in meat science, and then became a meat scientist at several different places, but really ended up here at Texas Tech, which is where we're located in Lubbock, Texas. And whenever he was teaching meat science, his biggest thing was if he was going to teach something like quality grading, and he didn't feel like he was the expert at it, he wanted to bring the expert into the classroom to actually teach his kids. And he thought about how he kind of got started in ag science and his struggles with horticulture. And he wanted to really find a way to bring the expert into his class. So at that point, he went out, and that was back when VHS tapes were kind of just getting started, and he bought him an old camcorder, and he would go out and he would interview people, and he would do B-roll and this and that. And he was doing that strictly for his classes at Texas Tech. And then he saw that basically the ag science teachers in the area were interested in it and felt like they could use it as well. And so at that point, he realized there was kind of a business out there, and there was a need for instructional video in ag science classes. So that's kind of how we got started. We got started, he likes to say it, on his kitchen table, trying to figure out all the different subject areas that he wanted to bring into his Texas Tech class. From there, we're basically in all 50 states plus international in regards to people that use our product. We started off with VHSs and DVDs, and then we moved to online, I guess in about 2012. And we also do more than just ag science now. We do all of career and technical education. So we do business and marketing, family and consumer sciences, health sciences, et cetera. But really our bread and butter and our background is ag. We're all pretty much ag people around here. My dad was an ag teacher. I grew up in FFA, was a state FFA officer. All of the managers in the business are the same way. So ag is really our one true passion, but don't tell that to all the business teachers and FCS teachers as you go out and start working with them. So with that being said, I'll kind of just jump into the product and show you how it works. I did notice before we jumped on this webinar, I checked out login statistics to see how many of you guys had logged in. There were a few of you that hadn't signed up for your username and password yet. So I resent that invitation to you. So if you have not signed up for that username and password yet, check your email, check your junk folder or your inbox. Sometimes it can go to either place sometimes, depending on the spam filters. And click on the link and sign up for your username and password. If for some reason you don't see that email and we have the wrong email address or something like that, Dr. Foster will give you my contact information. Let me know, and we'll make sure to correct that so you can get access. So with that being said, we'll just jump into the product and show you how it works. So you'll have your username and password, and then when you click login, the first thing it does is takes you to a page. You're going to set up my courses. You're going to set up what you're teaching that semester. So it's really easy to follow. The first step, follow the green button. It says start setting up your courses. Step one is going to be to select a curriculum. So come in here, you've got animal production, ag exploration for middle school, ag mechanics, ag power, ag structures, animal science. We pretty much have the entire list of ag science courses. There's not much in the ag realm that we don't cover with our materials. One thing that a lot of teachers fail to see is there is a scroll bar here. And so if you scroll down from there, you get access to the Ag Science Judging and Leadership playlist. So here you'll see all of these things to help prepare for your CDE teams. And then we also have things like Blue and Gold Basics, which talks about FFA and are good lessons to show kids the merits of FFA, officerships, etc. And then if you keep scrolling down even further, here we have our Ag Science subject area playlists. And these are our certification programs. And then also just some things like our field trip lessons, welding, our substitute teacher playlists, our hot topics. So just various different subject area playlists as we call them. So for the time being, let's go ahead and get started. And for me, I was an animal science guy, so I always like to stick with animals whenever I demo it. So we're going to click animal production. And then the next step is to give it a name. So I'm going to call this first period animal science. And then there's two buttons here. You can either add another course or click finish. So I'm going to go ahead and click add another course and select the course playlist. And then from there, we're going to go to, let's do the introduction class. So then you call this one, say we're teaching that in second period. Let's say second period. And then we're going to add one more course. And we're going to go down here and we're going to select one of these that we're going to be training. We're going to do a parliamentary procedure here, which I know with Dr. Foster as your professor, you are probably all over the parliamentary procedure, correct?
Yeah, they love it. It's their favorite topic is Parley Pro.
It's really exciting. So, all right, so once you kind of have that, you're going to click finished. And so here it lines up your courses. You can always go back and click add a new course and get you back to that screen. So at any time, you can always go back and click another course and add a new course to your playlist. So if there's a subject that you might be thrown into teaching in the middle of the semester that you didn't start with, you can always go back and add that course. So now that we have our courses here, and let's see here, I have to forgive me, I've been doing webinars with teachers all day. So I kind of go through a little bit of a routine, and you guys are a little bit different because you understand, honestly, you understand the computers and online programs a little bit more than some of the teachers that we work with. Don't tell them I said that. But here you'll see on the left-hand side, you've got your course names. The middle link, and this is one that throws some people off, this is the last lesson. So most of our lessons are broken up. So for instance, like this livestock industry lesson, I think it's a 5-day lesson. And so because it's broken up in 5 days, we put the last lesson that you had clicked on right here as a shortcut. So that way, whenever you log in, you can jump immediately to the lesson that you had last viewed in that course. And then right over here, you have the view course button. So let's go ahead and view course. And what that does is it takes us to, so we at CEV have basically developed these courses. Our curriculum team has come in and said, okay, if we were teaching this animal science course or animal production course, this is the order of the lessons we would teach it. So you can see here, this one course probably has 25, 30 different lessons in it. But we realize that, our curriculum team will put it the way they feel like they would teach it. But we also understand that no classrooms, no two classrooms are alike. So we do give you the ability to come in and customize it. So you can click on this customize button here. And then from the customize button, you can rearrange the lessons. So for instance, if I wanted to start with introduction to biotechnology, I'd click on it and move it up. You can remove lessons. So for instance, if you didn't want to see the global perspectives lesson, you could click remove and it would delete it from the course. And then you can also search our library or browse our library for lessons. So say you like our genetics lessons. We've got advanced animal genetics somewhere in here. And say you thought that might be a little bit too advanced for this class. You can come in and search for genetics, click go, and it'll pull up all of the different lessons that we've got that deal with, that are tagged with genetics. And you can see we've got several here. You can also look at it by the subject area. So if you click browse by subject, you can see animal systems, genetics. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it says no lessons found. That's not correct. Let me try that again. You gotta love it when it works right for you, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's try it again. So you see, you've got two other lessons. You've got the animal genetics and the advanced animal genetics lessons. So you just click add, and it'll put it at the bottom of your list. So you can put those in whatever order that you want them in. So even though we've developed these courses, you certainly have the ability to come in and customize it, put it however you want to put it. So once you're done, you click finished. If you don't click finish, it doesn't save for you, but click finish and then it'll save and in the order that you put it. So now let's look at a lesson. So let's click on this, the livestock industry lesson. And I'm going to click view the course here. So one of the things I told you that we kind of got started, we were started as a video company. Video is really kind of our background. We felt like ag science and career and tech ed really lend themselves to video because it is showing the students how to do different things. So with our online system, you're not going to find PDF, basically chapters or things like that to print off for students. All of our delivery methods will either be a video or PowerPoint. So you're going to have either a video or a PowerPoint for every single lesson. We've got over 50,000 minutes of video in here. So you can pretty much find a video on almost any topic that you want to show as an instructional.
Hey, Dusty.
Yeah.
The volume for some reason is going up and down. I don't know why, and I missed just a little bit there. You had 50,000 minutes, 50,000 different videos. What was the unit of measurement you used there? 50,000 what videos?
Minutes.
Minutes. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know how many different videos? Do y'all have that count?
You know, we don't.
Okay.
I want to say probably are, I mean, the average is 25 minutes, about 2,000.
So about 2,000 videos, roughly.
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome. Thank you.
So the one thing we try to do with iCEV, because one of the words that we've with our product called the present away syndrome, where a teacher puts in, back in the day, it was puts in a VHS tape or puts in a DVD, presses play on it, lets it run for 50 minutes, and then the bell rings and students leave. And that was really not the way our product was meant to be utilized. So we've tried to take steps with to make it a little bit more user-friendly for a teacher to come in and use it as an instructional aid instead of just the main instructional method. And so you'll see with our videos here where they're all chaptered out. The videos will be played, press play, let it roll straight through without discussing or anything like that with your students. They're specifically broken up into chapters here, so it's very easy for you to watch this 1 minute section here on the evolution of livestock.
Evolution.
And I'm not going to it's audio on my end, where you can play that, pause it at the end, and actually discuss it with your students. So my dad was a science teacher. Kind of funny. When I was watching the videotape, I never knew until I actually started working here that there was audio with the tapes. I thought it was just a talking or the B-roll, because my father would always watch it before class, and then he would mute the volume, and then he would be the narrator here. And so I don't know that because he wanted to be an expert in the class, or because he absolutely hated the music on the videos, but one reason that's how he taught with our materials, and that was back in the day of the VHS tapes. So the one thing I encourage everyone actually utilizing these materials is to break it up. Don't use it as the main method. Use it as an instruction. Use it, you play the evolution of livestock, and then you follow that up with discussion with your class. You make the livestock industry lessons last, 5 days, because that's what you can really get out of this one lesson. Each lesson plan. So if I click plan, you'll see a 27-minute video. We give you the goal, description, the objective. We do align to the Common Core, which the Pennsylvania Common Core align about 85% to the National Common Core. So you have them there. And then we also do the Common Career and Technical Course Standards. If you keep going through all these standards, then you get to the end of the master plan. So you'll see the lesson is 5 hours long. And you'll notice these materials in italics. These are all materials that can be found right underneath the video here. So as we look at this one lesson, you have like your vocabulary handout that go with it. You've got your assessment piece right here. You've got several different activities and projects that you can utilize. And then you also have one thing I'll point out is the worksheet. Now, most of the time when people see worksheet, they have a negative connotation of it. We actually produce these to make it easier for students to take notes in the video. One of the things that we heard frequently from our better teachers was that it was difficult for students to take notes on the video. So they felt like a great way to remedy that problem would be to develop these worksheets, basically, where they went in chronological order with the video, and students had to fill in the keywords as they were announced in the video. So these aren't meant as busy work, but they really are meant to help students take notes as they actually go through the lesson. If I go back and let's look at a PowerPoint lesson now. So let's look at, I think, livestock breeding. Here, that's a PowerPoint. A PowerPoint, it's pretty basic. You know, most of ours are pretty long. So this one's 109 slides long. They're pretty advanced. You can scroll through it and preview it right here by just clicking the arrows. You can make it go full screen and stream it as it is by clicking this arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. But then you also have the ability to come in here and click there and download a copy. And that's really helpful for teachers because they like to come in and customize those PowerPoints. They like to get rid of some slides. They might add a couple slides on their own, and we've kind of already got a design template done for them. So it's really easy to come in and customize those PowerPoints. Now, if you do the visualization, the assessments will not match it if you change up some of them. But, you know, if you wanted to do that, you certainly have the ability to come in and customize it as you see fit. One other cool piece to kind of show you is, since it is agriculture science does fall into the career and tech ed realm, and we are, you know, basically showing students the future and the future jobs of agriculture. One thing that we've added are what we call our career interviews. So what we did was we went around the country getting interviews with people of all sorts of, you know, just different job types. So Dr. Black, he's at Colorado State University. And we just did a short 5-minute interview with him about his career. What does he love about his career? What are some of the challenges associated with his career? How does a student get started in that career path? So these are a good way to actually tie the real world, or, you know, people that are in the real world working in an area like livestock breeding systems with the actual lessons. So throughout the curriculum, you'll see those. So if I click on livestock surgical procedures, here we've got 2 other vets that we utilize for that one. There's just a lot of different career interviews and pieces like that that you can use to supplement your materials with. Do we have any questions so far?
Okay, guys, before we go on, any questions for Mr. Moore about what you see? Not right now, they're soaking it in. Okay, perfect. One other piece to show you here, and you guys won't have access to this while you're doing your student teaching, but it is an area that we've worked pretty hard on the last couple of years, and that's our interactive for students. So with the emergence of one-to-one or BYOD policies, or, you know, laptop carts, things like that, teachers wanted our materials to be a little bit more interactive for the students. So we did develop student licenses where kids can actually log on, they can view the lessons, but then they can also come in here and complete the assessments and the assignments online. It is then automatically graded for you and provides you the data on how the class did. So it will show you, you know, what they're getting right, what they're getting wrong, and it will also record the grade for you. As we looked at how we could make it to where it fit a blended classroom model a little bit better, you know, obviously the student licenses helped, but we also had to make it to where we could actually come in
and do some different visibility pieces with each lesson. So you can actually come in here on this show lesson visibility settings, and you can actually schedule this out throughout the semester on what days your students can actually access and see the lessons. So you can just really kind of plan out your semester by having the lesson pop up, say at midnight on the 12th for them to complete in the next day or so for their class. So we have a lot of college universities that use this, especially for the science class, and this handle it. They'll have the pop up each day. Students are supposed to, and they're supposed to watch the videos or watch the go through the materials, and then do the assessment before their next class period. And then at a certain point, the professor will turn it to hide to where the students can't see it again. So we've got some different little features on here that basically teachers can use to really customize it for their class. We had discussed, sorry, did somebody have a question, or was that just my echo?
I think it's just your echo.
Okay. So we had discussed the certification. This is another area that we've worked really, really hard on for the past 2 years. One of the things that we heard a lot about is we saw career and tech ed kind of shift to certifications and put a lot of emphasis on certification. We heard a lot of our teachers and a lot of our administrators talk about the lack of agriculture certification. Lack of those that are out there for students to achieve. And a lot of teachers were saying, this is becoming a really big deal in our state, and there's really nothing for us, or very few options out there for us to get certified. So we always look at it as, this isn't our responsibility. We develop technology materials for teachers to use. We don't do industry certifications. But once we saw that there was still a void there in that area, we actually started working with industry partners to develop industry certifications that students could achieve. So the way those work, and actually let me see if I can remember username and password. But the way those work, say they were wanting to do the Elanco Fundamentals of Animal Science certification, they would actually each one of these lessons, they would need to pass a score above a 70 on this final assessment, the one with the green star. And then once they get the entire lesson list, the final assessment was unlocked. The final certification exam is a 100-question exam, very rigorous. It goes over all of the materials taught throughout the semester or throughout the year, but basically everything that's in these lessons. And if a student scores above a 70, they earn their Elanco Fundamentals of Animal Science certification. The biggest thing that we stress with this is these are not CEV or iCEV certifications. We're not qualified to certify anybody in anything. This is Elanco. So we worked with them to develop the curriculum. We worked with them to develop the certification exam. But in the end, you are Elanco certified. A lot of people ask, so what does that mean? What does it mean to be Elanco certified? What it's meant to do really give students that are interested in animal science a leg up in regards to finding a career, but then also for college applications, scholarship applications, etc. So it's really, it's not, one of the biggest misnomers with this certification push is that you graduate from high school with a certification and you're going to be making $80,000 a year and everything's going to go great for you. Really what a certification does is it gives you a leg up into getting a career. And so that's what certifications we have on our platform are meant for. They're not guaranteeing that you're going to graduate from high school and get a job with Elanco. But what they are saying is that if you go into a feed store and you're looking for work and you've got that Elanco Fundamentals of Animal Science, and that Google's, they can see student who understands life science. This is the area where Gillian, and then also her, I guess, what do you call them, Dr. Foster? Teaching mentor?
Cooperating teachers, Stephanie Jolliffe. Yep.
Okay, that's where they really took this program and saw the benefits of it for Ridgemont schools in Ohio. Was they were looking at how to do certifications and also how to do it in a blended classroom setting. And then through that last semester, they got about 20 kids certified, and they did a great job with it. And so since then, we've worked together. Gillian and Stephanie both presented at the NAAE conference in New Orleans in November or December. And then actually here in a couple weeks, they're going to be on a EduTalk podcast, EduTalk radio podcast. And then we're also hoping to do some webinars with them where they're teaching other ag science teachers how they utilize this with Google Classrooms to create a blended learning environment where kids ended up with certain. Yeah. Dr. Foster, how much do you know about the work that Gillian and Stephanie did?
Well, I was supervising when they were doing it, and I went and saw some of it. So you nailed it down pretty good. I thought Gillian brought the expertise, and Stephanie brought the get it done, and here are the resources. And then together they were a good mix working with you of the platform. So it's a neat opportunity. I don't know how many of you, I'll ask that quick question, are going to be in a Google Classroom situation. Looks like I only have one or two this year, but I do see that growing. So making the product native where they can connect to those kind of platforms, I think is really a good thing.
Yeah, and that's an area that we're focusing on a lot this year is, things like, and once you get into the school system, you'll learn if you deal with the technology people, single sign-on, student information system integration, things like that. That's an area that we're working a lot on this year as well, is just to make it compatible with the entire school system. And then also making it, LTI compliant and common cartridge and all that good stuff. So you can just say, if I'm using Moodle rooms, I want to use iCEV, and it'll just import the course right in there for you. So that's an area that we're working on a lot this year as well, just to make it play nicer with other areas.
I have a question really quick. I'm not sure if I missed it, but could you show us how to access the PowerPoints? I've been struggling to find them.
Okay, so
does everyone not have one?
So again, each lesson is either going to be a video or a PowerPoint. So for instance, with this,
So just to kind of help clarify,
So they don't have both for each then?
every lesson does not have a PowerPoint.
right, exactly. It's either going to be a video or a PowerPoint.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that cleared it up for them. They were excited.
And we see it both ways. We see some teachers really gravitate toward the video. They feel comfortable with video and they like teaching with video. And then we see others where they love the PowerPoint. We try to make it to where, we have a good mixture of both. But really, I would say we probably lean about 60% more video.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
PowerPoint.
All right. Do you guys have any other questions right now about how to utilize CEV with Dusty? Do you feel like you can navigate? Now, what he's clearly said to you is that for your trial subscription, it goes to basically till when you graduate, you have access from the teacher side and resources. You don't have access to student logins. Here's one quick question I'll throw at you, Dusty. What kind of compatibility do you guys have with AET as far as importing rosters?
So the way we actually import or enroll students in a class is we do it through a registration code. So there is no compatibility, but ours is meant to where you can basically enroll a student, no problem.
Got it.
Kids will go to that register page. They'll enter the registration code for your class, do their username and password, click submit, and then go from there.
Okay. So other questions about utilization of the tool? Sarah Beth.
Are there any common questions that teachers have for you that you answer a lot?
It's a good question. What's the most common question or problem that teachers give you, Dustin?
What's my username and password?
What's my username and password?
Honestly, but you know, other than that, I'm trying to think because people use it in a different way. We get a lot of technical support questions in regards to, and that's another thing. If you run into issues with it working in your school district, a lot of time it's just the case that the IT department has to whitelist a website, like whitelist the video that's streaming. And so if you run into that problem at all, I want to show you two more buttons up here. Number one is the iCEV coach button. And that's the green one. And it's supposed to be a whistle, but it looks more like a hairdryer. And what that is, you click on that, live chat's on. So if you run into a situation where you're having technical problems in your school district, or if you have a content question, like, hey, do you guys have a lesson over this subject? Click on that. It'll contact somebody in our office, and you'll actually be able to live chat them back and forth without ever having to send an email or pick up a phone. And they know that I've been doing webinars all day, so they're ignoring me because every time they answer, I close it. So that's why they're not answering from in here. But use that button. Anytime you have to use that button. The other button, schedule online. This is a really good thing because as you utilize it, you're going to have fun. And so if you do that, basically it'll open a calendar and you choose the date and time that works for you. And so say if you wanted to do one at 9 a.m. on the 21st, you can click that, enter your contact information, and we'll do a one-on-one webinar with you where we can answer any questions that you have. We have several teachers that'll do this a couple of times because they want to get money in the program. And so they're not have some different questions. That's available to you guys as well. If you're struggling with it, do that online because it's really good.
Very good. All right, Dusty. Well, we know we're trying to create consumers, good professional consumers of educational materials here. And so, you know, we've talked about the fact that we let them use their student teaching opportunity to sample different curriculum resources so that they can make wise decisions when they're in control of a budget. And so one question I want you to answer is talk to them about the finances. And so as they look at iCEV for either a teacher subscription or for a student subscription, you know, how much do they need to carve out or allocate in their annual budget?
Okay. So a teacher subscription is $850 per year. And again, that gets you access to every single one of our courses. It also gets you access to all of our training materials. And it gets you everything that we're going to develop in the future. So we actually add new lessons to the platform each week. And we send a newsletter out every Thursday morning to our agriculture teachers to let them know the new lessons that have been added that week. So that $850 is an annual subscription. And again, it gets you access to every single course that we've got. Also our judging materials, our FFA materials, everything we've ever done and everything we ever will do. The student licenses are $10. And so it's really simple for you. If you've got 70 kids in your chapter, you know, it'd be $700 for the student licenses.
Does it max out at any point, Dusty? Like if they, is there any point where you say this is the maximum you can pay for student license?
We do not have a max. And the reason for that is typically we see districts or counties will kind of pull together. Now we will, if you've got some outrageous number of students, then yeah, we'll certainly come in and work with you. But that's basically how we do it. We also have a funding guideline that we have on our website because a lot of people just look at their local program dollars or look at Perkins dollars. But in reality, there's a lot of different funds out there in the school district meant for instructional materials and instructional resources. So we actually hire a funding consultant to come in, and she actually evaluates our product, and she looks at all the different federal funding opportunities, all the different grant opportunities that are out there. And we just try to educate the teachers on this is how funding works, and these are some different areas that you can ask your administrators about So you don't always have to be pulling it from your budget. I think that's one big misnomer among teachers is, here's your budget, this is what you have to utilize for whatever you need. But in reality, that school district will have funds set aside for Title I funds, or they'll have IDEA funds, or they'll have 21st century grants. There are a lot of different methods out there. And with career tech being very much on the threshold and kind of in the hot topic or hot arena for school districts, they are looking for innovative solutions for CTE classrooms. So don't hesitate to go ask your administrators if there are some other funding sources available for instructional materials.
Dusty, could you show us, please, where it is in your website where that write-up is?
Oh, you're going to get me on that.
Oh, sorry.
Can I email you the link?
Yeah, because you got me really excited, but I'd love to read it myself.
Yeah, let me send you that link, okay?
No problem. So any other questions for Mr. Moore before we lose him today? I think the one thing I appreciate most about iCEV is their responsiveness, and so you don't forget about that coach piece for the live chat. Katie.
Referring to course grades report, how does that work if you have a student that repeats and not repeats the course, but is a reoccurring ag student, and they're just like in Port 1 and Port 2? Do all their grades stay from year to year? How does your course grades work?
Good question. So the way the course grades work, so whenever a kid signs up for a username and password, if that student uses the same username and password all the years that they're in agriculture science classes, all of their grades will follow them. And the reason we do that is specifically for the certifications, because we have some certifications where it might take a year to 2 years to actually complete. So we didn't want the student to lose all that work. If they use the same username and password, those grades will follow them throughout their tenure on iCEV. If a student uses it their freshman semester and then you delete them from your roster, and then they join again the next year and they use a different username and password, those grades will not be there.
Thank you.
Any other questions, gang? Dusty, we really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to hook up with us on the online here and talk about those awesome resources. We appreciate you as a partner. I hope you have a very happy New Year.
All right, same to you guys. Good luck, and if you need anything, please don't hesitate to let us know, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks.